Welcome back to my channel. Always so happy to find you here. I do upload on Thursdays, so when you subscribe, you will receive a notification as to when I have uploaded new content for your view. And of course, my pleasure, and it is my pleasure. But you got to have your notification alert on, so make sure you have that on. As you can see, I have the beautiful swans behind me today. And what I am doing in this talk is, so a little background information. And I'll drop it in my description box. Of course I will, as I always do. Valentine's Day, I did a talk on high-level relationship, like what I would call soulmate level relationship, high-functioning relationship, your one and only, your true love relationship. I did that for Valentine's Day. It got a lot of views. And from that, I had made a reference as to swan loving, the mammal type of idyllic love, which is representation of swans. When swans come together, there's one swan, they look for their soulmate, S-O-L-E, as their S-O-U-L, soulmate, and then they come together, they swan and they connect, just like that backdrop. This is why you see this image at many weddings. And then people get divorced. But anyway, that's another topic. So that's what I had shared. And from that came a lot of comments, mostly from men. And I did say that. So I did a follow-up from the Valentine's as a follow-up to that video as to comments that came. And I did reference it all. And I did reference Swanning. And I dropped that in the description box. So clear, everything was clear about that. But so Valentine's was over a month ago, but because so much comments about swanning, swan loving, the imagery of swanning, how swan loving to be replicated in our life, since that kept coming up, I just decided I'd do this topic on swan love. So from me to you, not an expert, my understanding of it. I'll drop a link as to how you can research that on your own, and I suggest that you do. But when I make reference to swan loving, I am talking about an intimate love, so intimate love. So I'm going to make 3 points with this upload. One is, as I already indicated, the mammal swan loving interpretation is that they come together. They will pass other swans in the river, the pond, the ocean, wherever they're at, wherever the lake, they'll pass others, they'll swan around. And you can often see this until they connect with the one. And it's almost like an energy that brings them together. It's like, and they will mate for life. This is what I mean by soul, S-O-L-E, meaning one and only soul to soul, S-O-U-L. Their souls will connect. This is what I mean by that when I say how we should attempt to love at that high level. That's what I call a high functioning love. I only want you. You only want me. We are mating idyllically, meaning at the same level. If you're a king, I'm a queen. If you're top notch, I'm top notch. If you're an emperor, I'm an empress. I'm using those examples, meaning we are at each other's level. Now, often one is not. One is higher, one is not. But if you're within that realm, of meaning love, I'm not talking about classifications. I'm not talking about, upbringing, race. I'm talking about the element of love within your horizon of the heart. The heart has a horizon. The heart has a horizon. And within that, I'm talking about that. That's why so many times opposites can attract, because they're connecting at the heart level. But I don't want to digress. When you come together with that soul, it is that person for you. So it's that. The second thing is, which I have not, and I've looked at my other uploads, and I don't think I've ever really given recognition properly to the universe's role in this. And I'd like to do that now. So I'd like to first apologize for overlooking that to the universe publicly here. So let me say it this way. I always get in prose when I talk about the universe. I can't help it. You see how the hands come together? Look, I'm like this. I honor it so much. Oh, I love the universe. So let me put it my way. So these are my words. Whomever you have the supreme being, and I don't call that by name, that's your choice. That's your spiritual choice. I accept that. So whether you call it God or Buddha or Allah or Zen itself or just natural energy or the universe, as I'm referring. Some people call it sage. I use sage as spirit, angel, guides, and energy. I accept, embrace all of that, okay? The same way I do people. So whomever you is, the universe is in constant conspiracy for our lives. Now, people say conspiracy, oh, that's so negative. No, that's not what I mean. Taking a situation, conspiracy, conspiring, designing, strategically moving in an unknown way, in a mysterious way, in an unfathomable way, to bring us our heart's desires, to have for us our ideal outcome. The universe is behind doing that. So let me give you an example. Let me use it this way. This is why you didn't meet that ideal person before. You weren't ready, or they weren't ready, or you were married, or that person was married, or you lived in that country and they're over here. But when the universe brings it together, you're at the same place at the same time. And sometimes you almost just miss each other. You were about to leave and that person was coming. You were leaving an event and that person was coming to an event. Something made you and you look back. That is the universe. And because we have, as a people, grown to think much more about chance and luck and happenstance and I guess it wasn't meant to be. No, you messed it up. It ain't meant to be because you messed it up. We want to put it back on anything else but ourselves. This is what I mean by the lack of accountability, but that's another topic. When the universe brings it together, how is it that that person was emotionally available and so are you? Untied to a situation and so are you. Ready for love and so are you. The universe is swanning your love back together. Now, here's what can happen. And unfortunately, is more common than uncommon. Other things start vying for your attention, our attention. Maybe an old flame came back, or maybe you went out and you started meeting another person and another person, and a distraction will happen, and the friction will happen, and our communication. A lot of times it's miscommunication, misunderstanding, hurt feelings. All of this starts happening because the natural ethers denies the natural love from existing. Now, I know that sounds deep, and I know that sounds eerie, and I know that sounds all that, but that's why you haven't had it before. We couldn't identify it before. How blessed we are to have it now. So you have to, what I call situational awareness. You need to be alert as to who that person is for your life. And by default, it's this. There is added value. Now, you have value, but they add value to you. They bring the passion to your purpose. You have purpose, but they bring the passion to your purpose. They bright your light. You carry light, but they bring the brightness to you. They enhance you. Now, here you come with an old flame or something else or something to distract you. Like my friend John says, I need to stay at a candy store. I go in the candy store for one thing, and then I see all this other candy, and I get distracted, and I leave for not what I came for, and you lose when you do that. Most of the times when it's swanning and it's a soul, S-O-L-E for soul, S-O-U-L, your one and only soulmate, you miss that opportunity and you will be defeated in your heart. Your heart will be defeated because it was so rare to begin with. It was so rare to be. So it's all that. So it's all of this where you have to be situationally aware, alert, aware, awake, recognize, and not miss it, not foolishly send it away, not foolishly about face. Because the one person is ready and the other person is not. By default, it won't work. That other person is only going to swan around you for so. Also, in the story of swanning, they sometimes will swan about each other. And by luck of the universe, they can reunite or they can come back at the pond at the same time. Don't miss it. Don't miss. So that's the swanning. And that's the evolution to me of the swanning loving. So the third part that I would say is this. Your swan, you for them and them for you. You're both equally important. You are not the king alone. She is not the queen alone. Now you're a king who's alone and she's a queen who's alone, but together comes your royalty. Together comes your royalty. And here's what happens when I said value, they add value. They bring passion to your purpose. They make you happy. Here's what it is also. If by any chance, one or both, probably it's just one, usually it's one, because typically the universe wants to, typically the universe does work through a person to enhance the life of another person. Okay, so typically, I'm not the universe. I ain't proud of you. But typically, it is your saving grace, I'll say. And people say, well, that person didn't save me. You misunderstand what I'm saying. You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. So help me say it better. Help me say it better. Okay. The person is a love elixir for you. Elixir, a cure, an antidote, a healer. Like there's a Marvin Gaye song called Sexual Healing, and everybody can relate to that. But I'm talking about soul healing, heart horizon awakening, bringing light to a dark heart. You don't need to play whatever games you play with other people with that person. It is disturbing to that person. The person doesn't want it. The person wants you. And if you keep bringing that, the person will abandon you. They will. They will. That's how you lose altogether. What a tragedy it would be to see your soulmate on a soul arm of someone else. I mean, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. The universe loves you enough to bring the two of you together. So treat it as what I call the love lottery. You just won the love lottery. Now, what happens and I made reference to that too in other uploads, is that just like the lottery, ignorant people go broke within a few years. Don't let it be you. Make partnership with that person. Recognize the universe's role with that person. Let your life embrace that person. Say it to them. Use your words and tell them the value they bring to your life. What that does to them is it does, see, if you are still not at that level, you're still thinking, I ain't gonna blow their head up. I'm not gonna tell them. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna communicate. What you're doing is showing your smallness, your hurtness, and the baggage, trauma, drama, what I call baggage, trauma, drama. That person wants to flow. Because what does swan do? You know, a swan just flows. You don't even see them pedaling beneath. They just flow right across. Any friction is uncomfortable, and the person doesn't want that. They want a loving love. And they met all these people before you to have you. And you met all these people before them to have them. And now is the time. Take it. Enjoy it. Be grateful you ever find it. So few do. So it's the love elixir. It's the soul satisfaction. It is knowing that when you're not with this person, when you meet this person, if you mistakenly abort it, just out of ignorance, just out of ignorance of what the small things, this is your smallness speaking. The person will remain on your mind because it is a heart's desire speaking to your head, trying to wake you up. And then the heart's horizon is speaking at the soul level because the person is your soulmate. If and when they really do leave you, you will feel empty because a soul, we only have one soul. So don't feel empty, feel full. The person is there for the fulfillment of your love, for the fulfillment of your desires by design. Okay, so let's just look at it like that. By design, they are there for your own fulfillment. And embrace that. Be the example of such a couple, because when you are, others, by default, others will look at you. I'm going to end here with this. It is my opinion. It is my opinion that when such a love appears, it is not only priceless and rare, it comes across as regular. The word rare is inside the word regular. So we often don't see the rare. We're looking at regular. So they look like anybody, they come across just like any, but then you start carving and you start seeing the rare piece that they are. Man, woman, whomever you're dating, gender specific, we all carry masculine and feminine energy. Yours align. You're the fire when they're the earth. You're the wind when they're the air. You're constantly in balance with one another. And when you're not together, it feels empty. You love the sound of the person's voice. You can hear them through your heart, not just your ears. You hear them through your heart. You can hear them through your soul, not just through your heart. So all of your elements are in line with this person. And if we're trying to control the situation the wrong way, the universe will start dealing with you because the universe is saying, I've given you a gift. The universe is like this. I have opened up your closed heart. Your heart is like this. And the universe is like this. I have opened up your closed heart to this beautiful person. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Just like that. And so let us work together. Conspire with the universe. Effectuate, make it happen because you deserve it. And that's what I think Swan Loving is. And so I'll drop the links. And I'm also going to drop the link to a 3-part series that I did on soul synchronization, because again, I believe it's all synchronizing. This is how we miss people. Miss meaning mistake. You mistake a person. A lot of times too, I'll say this and I'll end here. A lot of times too, if we what I call default, default is yours. Default belongs to you. There will be a wreaking of havoc because it's like you're at the Super Bowl and your goal is to get the ring. Well, literally and figuratively, to get the ring. You're at the Super Bowl and your goal is to get the ring, and you're playing, you're out there. You don't play a game. You don't play a college level in the NFL, period. And you certainly don't play a college level at the Super Bowl. This is big time. So this kind of love is high level love. The goal is to get the ring. The goal is to get the person. The goal is to live this life with this person and enjoy the transaction that life has for the two of you forevermore. Not just forever, but forevermore. Not just for always, but always and forever. And such a way that separation will create anxiety for you. And that's why you have sleepless nights, if you do, because you miss the person. So keep your soulmate and go get that ring or whatever else wherever you at in this. So swan with this person. And I love you. Have a good day. Bye.